one of the things that my dad remembered from when I was smaller was Star Wars was like one of the things that really, we vibed with together. So we just started watching Star Wars again to, connect with each other again, become friends, and find the friendship that we needed with each other and the
Of
father
course, yeah.
and son bond.
Star Wars. You can battle for the galaxy with new Episode 3 lightsabers. You can choose Obi-Wan's lightsaber with Force vibration. Train with Jedi Master Yoda.
What will you have?
And choose your destiny like Anakin Skywalker.
He chose the dark side. We're to find it too.
With the Darth Vader voice changer, the transformation is complete.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
New Star Wars lightsabers and voice changer, each sold separately. Cable batteries not included. Ask an adult before going online.
Go you can to Hasbro.com.
The galaxy's most legendary heroes, fearsome villains, and coolest vehicles. Now available to take home and play with at Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and KFC. Right now at participating KFC locations, you can get one of these cool Star Wars Episode 1 collectible toys inside every KFC kids meal you buy.
I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Mistakes were made. I really should have extended the selection process for... oh, please don't pick it. Ladies and gentlemen, Darth Vader.
You're watching Star Wars Day with Pops.
What are you guys doing?
Now you can feel like a Jedi with new Go-Gurt glow-in-the-dark lightsaber tubes. There's 16 different tubes for a limited time only.
Mom's gonna be back in 30 minutes.
Cool. 30 minutes.
Star Wars Attack of the Clones in theaters May 16th. You can grab Go-Gurt and go.
Well, they say all good things must come to an end.
Is this the movie?
This is the movie. This is the final movie.
Anakin succumbs to the dark side and to his inevitable fate, becoming Darth Vader.
Are you happy with the way it all came out?
Yeah, actually, I'm very happy.
No, absolutely, positively, you're really closing the door without any
Right.
wiggle room whatsoever.
Right. There is no episode 7.
All right, folks, welcome to Star Wars Day. Another time, another great creator with me, Jace Fawkes, 540 Studios, my brother. What is going on? How have you been?
I've been doing pretty well. Just been chilling, taking it slow, and working on everything that I have to work with. So
Well, happy Star Wars Day to you, my friend. The real Star Wars Day, as we
the
sort
real
of
Star Wars Day, yeah.
That's right. We can reminisce
Yeah.
about the things we love, the things we really appreciate. And one of the things that I wanted to have you come in and really speak to is your love of the prequels, your love of fan edit, that kind of stuff. But before we get too far down the rabbit hole, talk about
Sure.
because you're always very transparent about your relationship with your dad and how he kind of he raised you on pop culture. He raised you with these kinds of things. What are some of
Yeah.
your earliest thoughts and memories of Star Wars?
Oh God, I have to really go down the rabbit hole. No, well, I was a really rebellious kid. I was always rebelling as a
Mm.
child.
He says that in past tense as though he's not now, which we all know. Yeah,
No,
just
so
go ahead.
I never wanted to like sit still. I was like active and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that did calm me down when I was really small was putting on, A New Hope or Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back. Like those were the movies that really made me, calm, and I was like hyped, and I just became a real child, not
Mhm.
hyperactive. I was just like, this is just something that is so amazing. So that's like how it started, and after my mom and dad, broke up and stuff, I barely got to watch Star Wars and pop culture without my dad because I lived with my mom at that time. So finally, after years, I finally got to move to my dad because I was like, "F that, f this. I don't want to live with mom anymore because I want to live with my dad because I love my dad. You know, he's my best friend. I've said it multiple times on streams that I've been on. Um, so me and my dad, we didn't quite know each other when I moved to him because I had so much mental health and
Mhm.
a lot of bad things happened to me while I lived at my mom's. And one of the things that my dad remembered from when I was smaller was Star Wars was like one of the things that really, we vibed with together. So we just started watching Star Wars again to, connect with each other again, become friends, and find the friendship that we needed with each other and the
Of
father
course, yeah.
and son bond. So that's basically how it is with Star Wars. Because me and my dad, we love Star Wars the same way, and I might love Star Wars a little bit more than him now, because I read more books.
How did it transition for you with the because you're obviously much younger than me. So how
Yeah.
was it when you were how old were you or how did it transition for you? Because obviously you're in Norway as well,
hmm
when the prequels came out.
Yeah. Well, when it came to the movies, I never saw a Phantom Menace or Attack on the Clones on cinema. I never watched them in cinema. I watched them when they came out. My
Mhm.
dad got them, so then we watched them. And when it came to Revenge of the Sith, that was the first time I went to the cinema to watch Star
Mm,
Wars for the
okay.
first time on screen. And I still remember that day really well because I was with my babysitter. She was there with me because my mom, she didn't want to take me. So she got a babysitter, and that was one of the neighbors, a girl that I had a big crush on. I was so in love with her. So I was so happy that she joined me on Revenge of the Sith. So the fun things that I could not calm down at all. I was excited. I was so hyped, and at the same time, I have bipolar and all other stuff like that. So everything started acting up because I love Star Wars, and I finally got to watch a Star Wars movie on cinema. So I was like, my body was basically shaking as a child. So my legs were shaking, my hands. I'm like, oh my god, oh come on, come on. And okay, I was rooting for Anakin at the end. I knew that he was gonna lose. I know Star Wars, so I knew that he was gonna become Darth Vader. So I understood all that, but I was still, come on, beat Obi-Wan, kill him, take him, So that was a really fun memory with Revenge of the Sith and the cinema the first time. When cinemas in Norway were good. Now the big corporations are bad, but that's another case. But back in the day where the big corporation with cinema in Norway was amazing with movies. So yeah.
Even though we were young, and maybe it's easier just to reflect on how you feel about it now. Do you have a favorite part of Revenge of the Sith, being sort of like the nostalgic first one for you? Is there something that you still look back on now, and you're like, "This is
Oh,
my
my
favorite
favorite
part"?
part. Oh, there's so many. There's just so many. For Revenge of the Sith, I really like them. Like the scene where they're at the balcony talking to each other because I love romance. And people can say what they want with the prequels and Padme and Anakin, but it is just those two together on the balcony. It was just romantic, and I love that scene, even though it's really short.
There's
Um,
there's one shot here in the trailer somewhere, and I don't remember where it is. I had it earlier, and I don't know where I can't find my way through the trailer's not in order of the movie, so
yeah,
sometimes
no,
it's
I
hard to
totally
find the things that
understand
you're
that,
looking for.
but also,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
most memory, the scene with most memory to me that I always look back to it has to be the whole ending with the whole prequel saga with Obi-Wan and Anakin having their big battle and having all the pure emotions and friendship and the bond, like family. They were like brothers. They were like basically son and father. All that was just, it made me cry as a child, and it makes me cry to this day. It's just, it was so well acted, so well done, and poor Anakin for burning like that.
Oh, I have to be honest. I did a little May 4th video on this one, Revenge of the Sith, because I just hadn't watched it. It's my favorite of the prequels. It's the best one of the prequels in my opinion, and especially at this last sequence, the lava sequence, which is to me just superior. It's the best
Oh,
part of the movie.
it's one of the best parts.
Um, I came away with the exact same response I had in the theater. 'Cause I came out of the theater and I said it in that video. I'll say it again here, and that is they pulled it off. George pulled it off. He made me believe this is how Vader came into
Oh yeah.
existence. Like it's good enough. Like I have issues with the movie and we can all nitpick it and we can
Oh
have some
yeah.
stuff. But at the end of the day,
Yeah,
I'm
no, I
good.
understand
I
that. I
believed it.
understand that. I know there is, everyone has their different views on the prequels. For me, I loved it. Love them since day one. Are they perfect? No, of course they're not perfect. Of course not. It's the same thing like I always say with Anakin. He should have been a little older. In Phantom Menace, I've always had that feeling that he should have been a little older.
Yeah.
um but either way, I'm just nitpicky on small things. It's like, I know a lot of people hate the scene in Attack on the Clones when he talks about sand, but I'm like, I love that scene. I understand him. I can relate. I don't like
Mm.
sand either. I hate it. I hate being on the beach. So um and what I like with the prequels also is that it feels like an opera. It's drama. It's an opera. This is space opera. So for me, I would not like the movies if if it didn't feel like an opera to me. I would not like them if it didn't get that feeling, because
Hmm.
that's what George Lucas wanted. It's a space opera, and he nailed it with those three movies, and that's one of the reasons I really love them. So yeah.
It's really cool. I'm glad you shared too that your first experience was Revenge of the Sith, because I think everybody's first experience is a fun part of what we can talk about on a day like today, where everyone can have like a shared love and joy of the franchise and the IP,
Mm,
why we're all passionate, and yet we all have different maybe starting points and journeys to get there. And I
yep.
think it's really cool because here you are coming at it from a different side of the planet as a little boy
Mm.
who's only seen video and that their first experiences in theater. It's just a really cool thing that we can reflect on that kind of thing. Do you remember, or if you have like a favorite toy that you had as a kid?
Cade Skywalker was always my favorite toy. One of the last Skywalkers ever.
The which
One
one?
of the Cade Skywalker. He's a blonde guy with ear piercings and tattoos. He's a really badass character.
Mm.
He was
Okay.
my favorite toy ever, because I love the Legacy comic storyline with him.
Interesting. I don't think I was that familiar with the Cade Skywalker action figure, so I'm pulling it up to share it. But yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. All right. Yeah,
No,
very,
because
very cool.
when I first got the toy of Cade Skywalker, I also got the first issue of the comic, and then I got learn little bit more about him, and he was trained as a Jedi Padawan of Wolf. I don't know. I don't remember how to pronounce the last name to the character, and he's also the son to Cole Skywalker, and they are related with the Skywalkers, of course. um, but Kate Skywalker, after I'm not gonna spoil the story because I want people to read the Legacy story. If you haven't, just go there, get the Legacy comic storylines. They are amazing. But Kate Skywalker, first he was a Jedi Padawan, and a lot of stuff that happens in the start of the story, and when you read it, you will understand. And then after all that, when you see him again, he's a bounty hunter, he is a smuggler and a pirate. And there's a lot of story behind it, and a lot of story why he doesn't want to be a Skywalker. at all
Hmm.
in the start. So it's just there's so much lore with that character. So that was my favorite toy because he was one of my favorite characters and will always be one of my favorite characters.
He definitely has like a really kick butt action figure. I mean, holy cow, that
Oh
was a really
yes,
cool. That's a really cool action figure.
that.
He comes with 3 different accessories, a fully extended lightsaber, just
Hmm.
the handle and a blaster. I mean, that's a pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
We don't always get that. And I know back in the day, obviously you've seen
yep.
by now the kind of toys
Oh
that we started
yeah,
out with when
I had so
we
many.
didn't we didn't start out with that level of cool. Um, but yeah, very,
No,
very cool.
I used to have so many toys and figures of Star Wars because that was everything that I wanted to buy. It's like I bought Spider-Man stuff, Marvel, DC stuff sometimes, but Star Wars was like my main thing, and anime, of course. But
Mhm.
um, so I had Kate Skywalker, Darth Talon, who's also in the story with
Mhm.
Kate
Yeah,
Skywalker.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I had, oh my God, I used to have the original concept figures of Star Wars before they became movies. So I had like Boba Fett when he's like in the white suit, the original
Mhm,
suit that didn't get to
mhm.
the movies.
Yeah.
I had a female version of Luke because back in the day before they made a movie, they also made like a version of Luke as a girl instead.
That was the
Um,
original idea.
one
Luke
of them,
Skywalker, well, yeah, was yeah,
not the first one. The first one was God, was
our
with
killer. Mhm.
Anakin Starkiller. I have the
Yeah.
comic. I do have the whole comic they made for it. It's a real God. That is a nice story. The original story before it became movies. I have to be honest. That's my favorite story.
So let me share this again for folks to understand the perspective of the reissue. This is the Hasbro reissues that they did, where they did these McQuarrie concept figures. They did it with the coin
Yep.
and everything, so it's super
Yep.
super cool. So here you go. Here's
Yep.
one on eBay. So
I
like,
also I also
just really
had
really awesome design.
Yep, I loved Boba Fett in the white suit. I love that suit so much more than the original. Um, it's just something with it that just looked so much more nice, in my opinion. I also had
Let me go to that because it shows the
oh
back of them. When we get to that
hands.
back of this, that was really cool how they had the. There we go.
Yep. And they also had a version of Han Solo when he has a lightsaber and blaster and stuff. Because there
Hmm.
was like an other, totally other. He had multiple concepts, but that concept was pretty cool. I also own right now. I do own a pop figure of Han Solo with the lightsaber from the original concept. That's the only pop figure I own. So yeah,
Awesome.
I love figures. I have always been a collector. I do really miss my old figures like Kate Skywalker, Darth Talon. But at one point in my life, I was like, I have too many toys. I'm gonna give them away. And when I got older, I'm like, I do really regret it because now I collect figures.
Welcome to all of our worlds. That's for sure.
Yeah,
So
because
yes,
now I'm
indeed.
collecting, trying to
Yep.
find them, and I'm just like,
Yep.
God damn, the prices are expensive. It's like I didn't
Yep.
pay that much for them when I was young.
Yeah. So let's shift gears a little bit because
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
the other reasons I want to make sure we talked a little bit was because you do something that I think is it's really super cool because it's totally a passion project, right? And that's that you do fan
Hate,
edits.
hate, passion, and
It's a hate
yeah,
and love. It's a love and hate
yeah,
relationship that you have with these things. Because you'll email me. I remember when we first started interacting regularly, and you were like,
yeah,
"Yeah, working on this fan edit, and I'm like 3 hours into this, and I'm like, holy cow, brother! Oh my gosh!" And you're
yeah,
like, "Well, it's therapeutic. It makes me
yeah.
feel good. It makes me happy because I enjoy the process, even though I hate it. It's like it's a
Yeah.
love hate. How on earth did that even start? Is it just because you love editing?
Um, with the editing the sequels or just editing in
I don't
general?
know. For let's just start editing in general, and then we'll kind of move towards
Okay.
editing the
So
sequels.
editing in general, I was always interested in editing since I was a child, but I'd never like really picked up on it. But it was after The Last Jedi. I hated that movie so much. I couldn't sleep 2 days later, 2 or 3 days later. I couldn't sleep. That's how hard it was for me to watch that movie. I came out of cinema feeling weird, and I didn't understand what I just watched.
Mm.
um, and but no, I started like just when I first started editing, it got into it all. Because I've always had a passion for it, but I never like, I didn't have the money, I didn't have a good computer or anything. So I was just like, "Ah, just yeah, whatever. I'm probably never gonna do it." But I started searching on YouTube, and I started just searching on, people talking about The Last Jedi and Force Awakens and all that kind of stuff, because I didn't like The Force Awakens in the start either, but it was like when The Last Jedi, I started really go more into what people talked about it. And then out of the blue, I found Ivan Ortega, a really great guy, Ivan Ortega, who did one of the
Mhm.
first, not the first fan edit, of course, but one of the most popular fan edits of The Last Jedi. And I've seen his edit. My view on his edit, it's okay. It is okay. It's still a lot of things I wish that he did remove, but it was a better version. He did try to improve of what he could. So giving him a lot of props for that. And but I just started watching his videos, and it just inspired me to just inspired me to say, "F it, I'm just gonna get a program. I'm just gonna start editing. I'm not gonna look at tutorials or anything. I'm just gonna look at editing programs. I'm gonna get Premiere Pro and everything that I feel that I can use." So I just went online, found some programs, sat down, and I got The Last Jedi on the computer, and I just started editing and trying to do whatever I could to just try to make the movie more enjoyable.
Nice. And like I said, therapeutic. It's therapeutic. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's really,
Yeah,
really
so
cool. Are you able to really share that with anyone? I mean, how do you navigate? Because you can't put it on
I have
YouTube, because of the
links
copyright stuff.
to
Okay, so you have links.
yeah,
Okay, so
no,
people could reach out
I
to you and ask you to
yeah,
get a copy or whatever, see it for
yeah.
themselves.
I
Cool.
I have them on certain drives on the web where I have them. Um,
Sure.
and one of them are a Google Drive.
Okay.
A lot of people
Okay.
using Google Drive because that's one of the easier ones. You
It's how
have
you
other
sent them to me. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you also have something called Mega or Mega or something, but you have to pay for it, and it's expensive. So if you have the money enough, you can use that program. But I pay once in a while for it just because there's other editors out there who wants to watch them, and quality is a little better on it. But I
Hmm.
prefer Google Drive, and
Okay.
no, so of course, I have done a fan edit of Force Awakens. That is completely done. Um, I have removed the Edge Lord Kylo Ren. I made him more into a real character, more of a villain, more scary. So I've removed a lot of things and fixed a lot of things that I could. Uh, Made Rey not as powerful as she was.
Hmm.
And I've done the Last Jedi edit. I've seen the movie over probably 400 times now, just to edit.
Wow.
So I can, if I watch the movie, I can just say the dialogue before the characters say it. It's annoying. But no, my Last Jedi edit, I have removed everything that is bad. Basically everything is bad, but I've been removing mostly everything that most people hate. I have created new scenes. I have created new dialogues. Um, I made a training scene for Ray, even though it's not perfect, but I made the scenes into a training scene. I removed
Okay.
Luke being so emo. He never says that a Jedi has to die, must die. He never says that in my version. He also dies in a different way in my version. Um,
Well, I think it's really cool that you would find a way to make it something more palatable to what you like and what you would enjoy and you think fits the lore and the history that you grew up on. And
mm,
I think that's a really cool thing. And
yeah,
people can reach out to you again. Everything, all the links will be in the description. You can link out to Jace. connect with him if you want more information about how to do it or to get a copy and all that kind of stuff. So as we sort of wrap up, Jace, let me ask you a quick question about your site over on 540 Studios. What are you guys going to do today over on Star Wars Day? Plans? You got a special stream tonight, things like that. What do you guys got going on planned today?
Well, we are planning a stream because we want to celebrate Return of the Jedi and Star Wars and talk about the love and trying not to be too negative because we do tend to do that either way because we just have this big hate for Disney. And trust me, I have a big hate for Disney even though I do the fan edits, okay? I just do it because I want to try to help people to enjoy them a little more. And it works for editing, you know, it helps with my ability to be a better editor. But no, we are gonna stream, hopefully, and try to get some guests on and just share our stories, the how we felt the first time we watched Return of the Jedi, good memories, favorite stories, and at the same time we will also talk about the expanded universe and all the good stuff with Star Wars and stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's the way to do it, man. We have to, I think, kind of take it back a little bit, right? Like we don't have to buy into sort of like the corporate control of all of it. I mean, sure, they may control the IP and they can generate the new content, they can do whatever it is that they're doing, but it doesn't mean that we can't or we have to sit by idly and we can't involve one another in our time together in our stories and share things. I know I learned a lot more about you and kind of our common ground of how we kind of came to this place and our
Yeah.
love of something like this and how special it is to each one of us. I think
Yep.
it's really super cool. And I'm glad that you're able to spend time with me here to do that. So we're able
Yeah.
to
Thank
interact
you,
with other
brother.
people. It's done as a, we're recording it early, but we're recording this as a premiere. So there'll be comments hopefully in chat and interactions in chat. Love to see that happening, folks. Thank you so much for doing that. And Jace, man, just again, best to you and all the crew over at 540.
It was
Love
an
the fact
honor
that
to
we're
be
doing
here, brother. It was an honor.
awesome.
And I just want to say, like I always say to the audience out there, just remember life's too short, make the most of it. And me, Pops, and everyone out there, we are grateful and thankful for all the support and love that you guys are giving us. We would not been here today if it wasn't for all of you. So thank you, and we love you from the bottom of our hearts.
Amen, brother. Listen, folks, be blessed. Talk hard. Hang with us. We're gonna do some more stuff, and after this, you'll see some commercial stuff. Like hang with us and keep your finger on the channel there as we keep generating some more cool stuff today for you as we take in Star Wars Day. Thanks, folks.
My favorite's always been Dark Empire. So I loved collecting those, and I don't know what happened to my original set. I don't remember whether they got lost in a move or whether someone lifted them, or I know I had them and I read through them. So these were used. There was nothing you could, write home about or get plated today or graded or anything like that. But the story is what really pulled me in. This idea um, that Luke would look into what happened. Why did my father go over to the dark side? Why did Vader join the Emperor? And then kind of get pulled into this adventure where he turns on everybody and takes his father's place. It's that overshadowing you get in Return of the Jedi, take your father's place at my side. So getting to go back and collect those again, that's always great. I'm always looking for those. I'm looking for Hand of Thrawn. Usually there's 4 or 6 of these comics you can get, but yeah, I absolutely love the artwork. The people that worked on these comics are absolutely grade A, wonderful artists, and you don't get a lot of stuff like that today. You don't get the same thing. You don't get the same politics in it. You don't get the same feeling behind it. You just don't, and it shows. It really does.
From Kenner, it's the Star Wars mini action figure collector's case. Action figures sold separately. The collector's case holds 24 Star Wars action figures, like Stormtrooper, R5D4, and Snaggletooth. It comes with 2 plastic trays to keep them in, or you can turn the trays over and display all your figures in action poses. You can pack up Star Wars action figures and take them with you.
The Star Wars Mini Action Figure Collector's Case. Action figures each sold separately. From Kenner.
It's the Star Wars electronic laser battle game. Battery not included.
It's set to Sonic Speed 3.
Ready? Go! You can play it alone or with a friend. If you hit your buttons first, you move yourself forward. Or your opponent backward. But if you jump the signal, it's a flash ahead for the other guy. First to light up Death Star wins.
Yay! I win!
The Star Wars electronic laser battle game. It's a game with lights and sounds. New from Kenner's Star Wars collection.
You're watching Star Wars Days with Pops.